The movie opens in 1882 Wyoming Territory. Teenager Lucas Hollister manages the farm alone with his younger brother Jacob, whom he teaches to read. They visit their parents' graves. One died from illness, the other by suicide, highlighting their orphaned struggle for survival. As food runs low, a wolf sighting reminds Lucas they have no ammunition. Desperate, the boys head to Hayesville to sell livestock, getting only $30 for their horses. At the general store, Lucas defends Jacob from bullies, injuring one. Their father, Charles Gantry, later confronts Lucas, demanding labor as repayment. The next morning, Lucas fires at the wolf, but accidentally kills Gantry. He's swiftly sentenced to hang for murder. His grandaunt Evelyn visits but can't help, saying Jacob will go to a boys' home. Later, a man named Harland visits the boys' home and prays at the boys' parents' grave. In Ledford, Wyoming, Deputy Helm faces the slow death of his young son, Benjamin. His wife accuses him of emotionally detaching, leaving Wood stunned and heartbroken. She breaks down as he walks out, unable to fix what's happening. Wood and his partner Drum confront 5 drunken outlaws accused of murdering a native family. When one pulls a shotgun, a shootout erupts. All 5 outlaws are killed, as is a deputy. Wood finds a kidnapped child among them. Meanwhile, Jacob starts sleeping at the jail where Lucas is held. Shopkeeper Bill sneaks Lucas out to safety, upset he can't take the boy in. When a deputy mocks Lucas, Bill defends him, reminding them he's just a kid. That night, Harland breaks into the sheriff's office. Lucas, thinking he's in danger, yells for help, and Harland knocks him out, taking a rifle. Bill almost shoots Harland, but drops his weapon when he recognizes him. Harland warns anyone who comes after him will shake hands with the devil himself. The next day, Lucas demands answers, but Harland remains vague, insisting the boy follow him. In Hayesville, news spreads that Sheriff Tom Long and 2 deputies were killed by Harland. A posse forms, targeting both Harland and Lucas. Back in Ledford, a drunken Wood nearly kills a man who insults him over past failures. Drum stops him. Wood confesses he no longer believes in God, haunted by his suffering son and past sins. On the road, Lucas forces Harland at gunpoint to explain himself. Harland reveals he's Lucas's grandfather, his mother's father, and says the rifle belonged to Lucas's great-grandfather. He warns Lucas to load a round if he plans to kill someone. Lucas calls him a murderer, but Harland replies, "That makes 2 of us." They camp for the day, avoiding a dangerous tribe and catching a rabbit for food. Wood meets with Laurence Stilwell, who informs him that Harland killed 3 men to break Lucas out of jail. Stilwell urges Wood to bring Harland to justice, and insists he take Dick Miller along for extra backup. He praises Wood's unorthodox but effective methods. The next morning, Lucas tries to escape but doesn't get far before Harland catches him. Tired of the boys' questions, Harland finally describes what it's like to watch a hanging. How, without a quick neck break, a man can suffer for hours. It's not something he wants Lucas to witness. As they travel, Harland deliberately spooks Lucas's weak horse, forcing it to collapse and die, leaving a false trail. He says a friend will help them escape to Mexico, where no lawman can reach them. Lucas protests. He doesn't want to live in Mexico without his brother, but Harland insists they have no better option. In Ellsworth, Kansas, bounty hunter Fenton Preacher Lang brings in an outlaw for hanging and receives a telegram offering a $1,000 bounty for Harland Rust. Meanwhile, in Atchison, Wood, Drum, and Miller recruit Boone and Clete Lafontaine, paying them $200 to join the hunt for Harland and Lucas. Harland and Lucas come across a cabin occupied by 2 trappers. Posing under false names, they're welcomed in. But Lucas discovers a wanted poster with their faces, revealing the men are bounty hunters. One holds Lucas at gunpoint, but Harland counters with a knife. When the second man tries to shoot, Harland guns him down, then kills the first. Shaken, Lucas tells Harland he's had enough. He just wants to go home to his brother and be left alone. They flee, fearing nearby Indian tribes may have heard the gunfire and continue on the run. Wood and his posse visit Evelyn Basset. Wood pieces together that Harland is Evelyn's brother, Lucas's grandfather, and suspects she tipped him off to save the boy. Evelyn confirms nothing and tells Wood to leave. Meanwhile, Harland and Lucas reach a small camping town in Lawson County, Colorado. Lucas tries to mail a letter, but Harland stops him, warning it could expose their location. Lucas pushes back, frustrated by Harland's control, but Harland insists he's only trying to keep him alive. As Harland buys food, Lucas wanders into a crowd and witnesses a public hanging. The condemned man struggles painfully, just as Harland once described. Shaken, Lucas stumbles away and finds Harland waiting with a dog he's bought. They leave town together. Elsewhere, Preacher and Wood's posse continue their pursuit through the night. Later, by a campfire, Lucas shares how, at 10, he cared for his dying mother, while Jacob was too young to remember her. He asks why Harland is so angry. Harland recounts losing everything to a bank back in Chicago, turning to bank robbery and isolation afterward. He admits he never made peace with his daughter before her death. Lucas reflects on the cursed legacy of his great-grandfather's rifle, how it led to Apache deaths, gantries, and even his own father's suicide a year after his mother died. Seeing Lucas is ill, Harland brings him to an old friend's house, only to find the man was hanged 5 years earlier for a crime committed with Harland decades ago. His widow tells them to leave. Lucas gives the dog to the man's son and tells him to take care of it before they head out again. In Lawson County, Wood visits a general store asking for a long-range weapon. Instead, the owner gives him a telegram from Stilwell. Wood's son has died. Wood accepts the news in silence. Meanwhile, Harland and a feverish Lucas arrive in Rio Aryan, New Mexico territory. Lucas collapses, and Harland rushes to find shelter. A wagon company takes them in, while Lucas fights through his illness, calling for his mother in his delirium. That night, Wood and his posse make camp. Drum urges Wood to eat, but he refuses. Wood explains Harland must resupply before reaching Mexico, and recalls bringing 146 men to justice, 18 hanged. He recounts Tom Bell, a gang leader who believed in an afterlife. Wood says when Bell's neck snapped, there was only nothingness, just like he fears for his suffering son, now gone without reward. Lucas dreams of his mother and wakes, fully recovered. Harland tells him he was unconscious for a day and a half. Elsewhere, Preacher arrives at the home of Chunk Boderer, where Harland and Lucas once sought refuge. He charms the lonely widow, gets information, and leaves. Later, Harland and Lucas are ambushed by 2 men. Harland wounds one, but is shot himself. They flee, losing their horses and supplies. That night, Harland reveals he once had a wife and 2 children. His son died working the land. His wife took her life after they lost everything. Lucas admits his own survivor's guilt, wondering why his mother died instead of him. Preacher arrives at the site where 2 bounty hunters failed to catch Harland. When the younger one draws a gun, Preacher kills him instantly. The older bounty hunter, now intimidated, reveals Harland and Lucas are headed toward Dawes Pass, half a day ahead. Meanwhile, a weakened Harland rests while Lucas hunts a rabbit. He's confronted by Kiowa Indians and, in desperation, trades the rifle for a horse. The Kiowa call him a strange boy and let him go. Harland, watching from afar with a gun ready, breathes a sigh of relief. They ride to Mosquero, New Mexico. At a bar, Lucas leaves Harland to find a doctor, but recognizes the horses of men who had just killed the Kiowa he traded with. Inside, the men, including one named Blackburn, discuss turning Harland in for the bounty. Before they can act, Wood enters, having already captured Lucas and intending to arrest Harland. Just then, Preacher arrives and shoots Clete in the back, triggering a shootout. Blackburn and the bounty hunters are killed. Drum is wounded, and Harland is further injured. Wood sends Miller after Harland and Lucas, but Preacher shoots Miller off his horse. Preacher pursues Harland and Lucas, now on foot. He catches up and shoots Harland in the chest before grabbing Lucas. Wood arrives and orders Preacher to release the boy, but Preacher, now unhinged, refuses, claiming the boy has sinned. He shoots Wood in the shoulder. As Preacher prepares to kill Lucas, Harland, despite his wounds, shoots him in the back. Bleeding, Preacher crawls toward his cross before Harland ends it with a final bullet to the head. Harland offers Wood a deal. He'll surrender peacefully if Wood lets Lucas escape. Wood insists it's not his call, but Harland, furious, questions the justice in executing a child over an accident. When Harland asks if Wood has a son, it strikes a nerve. He urges Wood to give Lucas a second chance, or become the first man he'd ever regret killing. Harland tells Lucas to find a man named Anselmo, who'll take him to Mexico and reunite him with Evelyn, who has arranged everything. He tells the boy not to cry for him. Grateful for Harland saving his life, and knowing he's right, Wood agrees and lets Lucas go. When Stilwell arrives, Wood lies, claiming Lucas died in a fall. Lucas finds Anselmo and introduces himself as Lucas Rust, taking his grandfather's name. Stilwell rides off with Harland in chains. Wood chooses to ride alone. He and Harland share a silent moment before parting ways. At home, Wood finds his son's room empty, implying his wife has left, broken by grief and his emotional distance. In Hayesville, Harland is taken to the gallows, originally built for Lucas. Though Harland dies before the noose is tightened, Stilwell coldly orders them to kill him twice, and the deputies hang his lifeless body. Lucas reunites with Evelyn, who had helped orchestrate his escape with Harland, knowing it would likely cost her brother his life. At last, Lucas is reunited with Jacob, who runs to embrace him. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.